step right this way. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce a freedom fighter, a man who's worked very, very hard to make sure the Constitution is a living, breathing document. Ladies and gentlemen, George Crossley.
Thank you. Thank you. It is really a kick to see you. So let me put this in practical terms. Practical terms that everyone here can understand. To begin with, the way this happened after 9/11 was really quite simple. When the law was passed that suspended habeas corpus, it was them who was going to lose habeas corpus, not us. And we all know who they are, don't we? I mean, and number two, it was only going to be a temporary action. It was not necessarily going to be around forever. And so what you had, and by the way, I hold Congress more responsible than anybody else for a lot of reasons, but what you have here, because actually were congressmen back at the time that the Homeland Security Act first came forth, the Military Commissions Act first came forth, who actually voted no. But they were in the small minority. But the point is, how does that apply? And this is what I want to talk about today. I am the chapter chair of Orange, Seminole Lake, and Osceola County for the Central Florida ACLU. Let me give you an example of this very issue that everyone here hopefully can understand. Remember what I said first. It's not us, it's them. You don't have to worry about it. You're fine. We're just them. We're after them. And we all know who they are. So, a young man has overstayed his visa. He is an undocumented immigrant. You want to call him an illegal alien? I don't care less. But he decides, I want to stay in this country and continue to work. So he hires a lawyer, Oscar Gonzalez, to represent him, who's a specialist in immigrant law. And what he wants to do is he wants to become, in every way, a legal American citizen. He wants to follow whatever rules are necessary. And that's why he hired the lawyer, for the lawyer to help him get through the process so that he can become a U.S. citizen, because he had, in fact, overstayed his visa. And he's in Longwood, Florida, driving down the road, and somebody spots him from the Longwood Police Department and notices that he is of Hispanic or Latino heritage and pulls him over. He has a suspended driver's license, not because he did anything wrong, but simply he let it run out. And so the officer says, who are you, where'd you come from, and gets into all this other information other than the fact that his driver's license was suspended or had run out. The end result of the whole thing is the fact that the officer arrests him and takes him to the Orange County Jail because his driver's license is not proper. Nobody in Seminole County, Florida, ever gets arrested because of the fact they don't have one or it's run out. What happens in Seminole County is you get a ticket or a warning, and you go down and get your license, and you go to court, and you say, Judge, I've got a license. But he was thrown in jail. And when Mr. Gonzalez first heard about it, he found out and knew this person perfectly. And one of the rules, one of the rules that you have in a situation like this is, has this man got any previous criminal history? He had nothing. Zero. Zilch. He was clean. Therefore, this lawyer filed a writ of habeas corpus to get him out of jail and had the law on his side. Now, he had to explain the law to the Seminole County judge. But the judge agreed with him and signed the writ of habeas corpus. He went down to pick this man up 3 days later, finally. Actually, 2 days. He was supposed to be out in 2 days. He went down there on a weekend to pick him up. And the same judge was holding hearings in jail. That happens, by the way. You have hearings right there in jail. And the judge decided he wasn't going to enforce that which he had already signed and agreed that this individual should be turned loose because of the fact that the Seminole County authorities were holding the man for ICE. You know who ICE is? That's Immigration Control. So, he was held an extra 48 hours. And the writ of habeas corpus was ignored. And ICE came by and picked him up, and off he went. And you know what? Nobody knows where he is. Wait a minute. I thought that just applied to the Arabs, the terrorists. I didn't know it also applied to Mexican or Latinos who happen to be working over here. By the way, folks, don't get me off on that particular thing, because when I hear the growers in this state say we're 60,000 workers short, well, we want to throw them all in jail and kick them out of the country. But we're 60,000 workers short. Hello? What's wrong with that picture? This man, guess what? Because local cops are now working with the feds and are supposed to deal with issues like this, like, for example, the judges in Orange County have decided that if someone comes in and there's a question about his legitimacy, they will simply do this. They will call ICE. ICE will come and pick that person up right out of court, and off he goes to the Chrome Detention Center or wherever else he might go. So there's a practical aspect of this. What I'm trying to tell you, folks, is it's a slippery slope. If it happens to them, it can happen to you. And if anybody in this room thinks for 1 minute that any time government takes an inch, the government won't ultimately end up taking a mile, they got to be kidding. Government will absolutely take a mile. And when the government takes a mile, trust me, your civil liberties are going down the drain just like everybody else's. When he loses his, you lose yours. Thank you very much.